Welcome back, everybody. We're on to part 3 of our Build a Better Chironomid tying series here. So as I said in the previous video, we're going to tie the kind of traditional chironomid pattern. And these are not something you see all the time, but very popular still in the UK, also known as buzzers. But they're good to have. Clear water lakes, picky trout, the bead heads are handy and make tying a lot easier, but these traditional style patterns can really come in handy. So we'll just kind of go through the process of tying one of these, and hopefully it'll help you tie them a little better. Well, I've got a number 10 scud hook in the vise. I typically tie these style patterns on the scud hooks. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to start my thread about 3 to 4 eye lengths back of the hook eye, and we're going to have to build our thorax up there, so we just want to make sure we leave ourselves some space. So by starting back, makes it a lot easier just to gauge that. And I'm going to tie in some small wire and tie that in right along the near side of the shank, same way we did in the other videos. Come down into the bend a little ways and just tuck your wire off to the side. Now I've got some tinsel. Rather than the flashaboo, I thought I'd show you some tinsel. So I'm just going to tie it in the exact same way, catch it right at the back, and then just wrap over it, and you'll just have it disappear. And then nice smooth wraps up the body, and you can see our taper's already starting to work for us by kind of starting that little bit where we need it. You just add on to it as you go. So we'll come down kind of 3/4 of the way, come back up, go down halfway, come back up, and you pretty much got your body built there. So now we'll go ahead and wrap our tinsel, and don't forget to kind of tug on this stuff as you wrap it. Keep it nice and tight. You're not left with any holes or anything in between your wraps. It makes ribbing the fly a lot easier. So we'll go ahead and wrap our body. Bring this up. That looks good there. Tie that off. I'm just going to wrap back on that a little bit. And we can snip that excess tinsel out of there. And go ahead and wrap our wire. Same deal, nice even body segments. I'm going to shoot for 7 of them. That looks pretty good there. Bring your wire up underneath, tie that off. Some good wraps, make sure it's nice and secure. Now you can come up towards the hook eye now that we've got our thorax gauged, and just build this up just a little bit. Back and forth, keep it fairly even. Now what I've got is some orange stretch floss. Excuse me. And you can use stretch floss, you can use Edge Bright, you could use tinsel. There's lots of stuff to use, but if you're just starting to tie these things, the stretch floss for me is the easiest stuff to work with. And so I'll just kind of wrap that around my thread and pull it up to the underside, and then just give a couple wraps back Make sure it's locked in, and then let those go. And then one of them, they're each going to fall kind of to one side, or sorry, one piece to each side, and that's what you want. So then you just grab these, pull them straight back, and just wrap right back to where your wire was, or is, sorry. And just give a few wraps, flip it over, just make sure you've got nothing showing on the underside, and you can give them a test. Make sure they're gonna pull up the way you want them to. That's kind of what you're shooting for, so that looks good to me. And then now I'm going to take my Flashaboo, and I'm just using one single strand for a little bit of flash up top. You don't have to put this in if you don't want to. Pearl Flashaboo is another good one. I like the blue. I will tie it in pink from time to time depending on the pattern, so feel free to, like with everything, play with stuff, and the fish will tell you whether it's worth tying in or not. So, and then I'll come up to the hook eye here, and I'm going to do my wing pads first. So you kind of want to come up and across and almost tie them off almost on top of the shank, and you'll be able to see better with this one, obviously. So get that to where you'd like it. That looks good to me right there. And just secure that off with a couple wraps, usually only 2 or 3. You don't want to bulk this up too much up top here. And you can throw a couple locking wraps in front there, and then I'm actually going to just throw a quick whip finish in here. Anytime I'm dealing with stretchy material, I like to put one in. That way if I happen to bang my bobbin or anything like that, they're not going to come unwound on me. Good tip when you're using this stuff as a rib. Now I can really pull on this and snip it out of there, and there's hardly anything left to cover up, so I'm not too concerned with that. I'll pull my Flashaboo over and make sure it's nice and centered. Give it a couple wraps, trim that out, and now these wraps I've kind of will use as a landing pad for my gills, and I'm just going to use the uni stretch for those. So I'll kind of twist it up a little bit just so it's not so haywire, a little bit easier to tie in, and then just place it on top here and catch it with one wrap, maybe 2 if you need to, and then you can just kind of twist it sideways. I'll usually come in here behind this one closest to me, just give it a wrap or 2, and then I like to put one cross wrap in between them if you can, just like so, and one in front, and now they're basically standing up where we'd like them to be, and they're covered up. So I'll actually whip finish. Just want to cover up that orange first in front here on the stretch floss. So just a couple wraps there, and I like to do my whip finish in behind my gills, but if you got room in front, you can do that as well. Just a couple turns is all we need here. Throw those turns in. Cut that out of there. Pull these straight up. Give them a bit of a trim. And you'll be left with 2 nice tufts there. Looks quite quite natural with this thing. That's what we're going for. So now if you would like, you can use a UV resin to build up the body, but you don't have to. I'm just going to coat this one with good old super glue. And if you build the thorax up a little bit with your thread like I did, then it's not really necessary to need the UV resin. But if you notice the thorax is skinnier than you'd like it to be or anything like that, then by all means use that resin, and you can kind of shape the fly a little bit more using that. But I'm pretty happy with that right there. So that's the modified zucchini. But again, with the style and tying and the process, I hope you've taken something away there, and hopefully this series will have helped you to build more consistent flies, and maybe make it a little easier than it was before for you. But feel free to, everybody has their own way of doing it, and this is just what I've found to be easiest. And take parts of it, take all of it, take none of it, but like I say, hopefully you learned something, or at least enjoyed watching. I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see what we can come up with for you next. Until then, cheers and tight lines.